Welcome back. Well, my friend Robert Bates, the research director at the Centre for Migration Control, is in the studio. He's never seen me in the daylight before, and I've never seen him in the daylight
before. It's a pretty sight. Enjoying it.
Well, I'm better looking than you thought, aren't I? Yeah. You too, Robert, of course. Right, one in, one out. I cannot believe... I mean, you know, you're used to politicians sort of coming out with absolute claptrap. But David Lammy saying the one-in, one-out scheme is working a treat. I mean, in terms of absurd statements, that takes the biscuit. It is an absolute sick joke, isn't it?
I think this is where we're at with the government now. Their sort of track record after 15, 16 months in is so woeful. They are literally having to resort to these statements that are so far removed from reality. This is even before we get to the individual who, of course, managed to sneak back in, having been removed. But it's not a one in, one out. It's an 11-odd thousand in, 42 out. Well, 41 again now because we've had another individual re-enter. This is a scheme that was doomed from the start. It had a fundamental sort of flaw with its very methodology and how it was hoping to act as a deterrent. And now we're actually starting to see these loopholes. The brass neck, honestly, of a senior politician to come out and try and claim that this is in any way a success is simply staggering.
It is staggering, and also it's insulting to our intelligence. And as we watch this nonsense continue to unfold, people all over the country, millions, would just go, what on earth is it for? I mean, they're carrying on with it. I mean, even more ludicrously, they're now planning to expand one in, one out to Germany, Belgium and the Netherlands. You know, it was always a flawed scheme, but we must remember it's supposed to be a deterrent. The idea being that although numerically you achieve nothing, because all we're doing with France is swapping foreigners. It's a swap of foreigners scheme. So you don't reduce the number of migrants at all. The idea was that, you know, we'll take 1 in every 17 migrants and they'll get dispatched back to France. And the idea is that all migrants will say, well, I could be that 1 in 17, therefore I won't risk it. But of course, when you're given that kind of odds, they were never going to not risk it anyway. That is well worth a roll of the dice. So it was never a deterrent. And now, palpably, demonstrably, we can see it isn't working as a deterrent because 11,000 migrants have crossed the channel since it started in early June. So what's the reason for it? Why are they bothering?
They desperately needed something around which to base their piecemeal strategy because, you know, it's so far been gimmick after gimmick, sort of desperate attempt to grab a headline here, sort of a little hurried meeting over in the Balkans. So they really needed something around which they could say, well, this is the centrepiece of our strategy, and they've cobbled together this ridiculous plan, which you're absolutely right, is clearly not a deterrent, although what it actually does do, of course, the individuals that we are getting from France are individuals who effectively we then have to support for the rest of their lives. They get given refugee status because they're kind of pre-approved, whereas what's happening when we remove an individual to France is France is saying, right, where are you from, and then shipping them back to their country of origin. So France are actually reducing their burden, whereas we seem to be continuing to compound it. The thing that makes me laugh about this conversation about extending it to other countries is the Home Office has always been very clear that they'll only look to sort of have this negotiation with Netherlands and Germany once the concept has been proven with the deal with France. Once the deal with France has been so proven to be such a success that it makes sense to extend it to other countries. I think what we're doing here is putting ourselves into entanglements with Europe, which we've seen time and time again in recent years will lead to us being beaten around, taken advantage of, and them effectively sort of laughing at us all the way to the bank. And
I think with this one in, one out scheme, the only reason the government's still gathering around it and telling stupid lies like it's working a treat is they've got nothing else to say. This is it.
Exactly.
This is it. They've got no other deterrents, no other schemes out there. You know, they've given up on smash the gangs, because that was a complete joke. That didn't work. So they're just talking about this, even though everybody with half a brain can see it's a sick farce. It's an absolute joke. Meanwhile, we hear that, you know, after we've given France, I think it goes into around about 700 million over the years, but our last big donation to the French purse was, I think it was 23, wasn't it? Was Rishi Sunak gave them half
£500
million to patrol their own beaches, which they, of course, don't.
No.
The gendarmes don't do anything.
Well, they popped one. I think they stopped one. And then,
so that doesn't work. So the Prime Minister is apparently currently urging old Mini Macron, that pipsqueak idiot who mismanages France, please, 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 can your gendarmes start getting into little boats and stopping these water taxis, as it were, that take the migrants out to the small boats and the dinghies to ferry them on to Britain. Can you get into the sea and start stopping them? Because the gendarmes, to this day, have always had a system whereby as soon as the migrants get ankle deep in the English Channel, you know, paddling, the French police, les cops, don't go. So that once the migrants are in the water, they're free. So we've been urging France to change that rule. Apparently there's a union consideration.
Of course, always is with the French.
The French cops union saying, oh, we are not going to put our members in danger. Starmer is begging again.
Begging is the right word.
Begging again. Macron won't do anything. The desperation is off the scale, isn't it?
It's really demeaning to see a British Prime Minister really on his sort of knees begging a French Prime Minister to actually help him out of his own predicament. I think there are pretty much three things certain in life: death, taxes, and the French really doing nothing to help the Brits, and this is unfortunately another example of that. Starmer would spend his time much more productively solving this problem if he donned a hard hat and started constructing detention facilities to actually make sure that individuals, once they arrive in Britain, are put in a secure facility, not in HMOs, not in hotels, and then swiftly deported. We don't need the French to solve this problem. This is something that, if we have in place a proper detention and deportation strategy, they will get the message eventually, and we will make sure that this problem is solved. Unfortunately, he is so enamoured with this idea of cooperation, international cooperation, whether it's with the French or whether it is with those Balkan countries, that I really can't see a way in it, and he has that introspection to recognise that the problems are homegrown and they can be fixed on a domestic basis.
Well, it was great to talk to you, Robert. I've got one last quick question because I have to move on. I'm making a theme of this show of foreign aid because I got this story last night and it bears repeating. So old Robert Reeves is about to tax the hell out of all of us, break all of her promises and raise income tax and all sorts of other taxes in her budget from hell in November. Part of that, the money that she makes, she needs this money because we're about to send, listen to this, foreign aid, £111 million to Pakistan to pay for condoms, £111 million to fund family planning in faraway Pakistan, and she's taxing us because she needs money. I mean, this is incoherent, isn't it? It is,
and this is where you look at what the Trump administration has done with Doge, and they've just kind of said, no, this doesn't help us, doesn't help the national interest, let's do away with it. That's the mentality that we need to have with this. Foreign aid is really a pointless exercise at this point. It really doesn't help the British interest at all, and it needs to be completely reorientated or scrapped.
Are you saying then you don't think it was worth giving Ethiopia £12 million to form their own Spice Girls band?
I don't know. I've not seen their big hits yet. I'll have to see what the music videos look like before I pass judgment.
The Yegna Girl Band.
I mean, it sounds like they've got potential.
We British taxpayers, we gave Ethiopia, or the Yegna Girl Band in Ethiopia, their equivalent to the Spice Girls, £12 million to fund their pop career.
Yeah, I think I'd struggle to see the worthwhile of that, the benefit for that. I don't really think that doesn't fix potholes,
does it? That's a bit controversial. Robert Bates doesn't think we should have given Ethiopia £12 million
I'll have a knock on the door for saying
Girls.
No,
we've got lots of other examples. I'm going to bring it. You know, we actually gave money. This is true. We actually gave money to China to teach their peasants how to grow rice. I mean, what next? Money to the Sahara to teach them how to, you know, build sandcastles or something. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And that, you know, stop all this, then you won't have to tax us so much.
And stop the $10 billion that we're sending to foreign nationals in universal credit as well, of course. There's so many savings. Just stop giving foreign people our money.
Oh, God. Stop the world, folks. I want to get off. Big thanks to Robert Bates, Research Director at the Centre for Migration